Hello everybody, my name is Brian Kelly and welcome back to Talk of the Town. Of course, we have another great show for you. Is that unbelievable how all our shows are so great? I'm telling you, we're so fortunate. But listen, we have a great group with us today. We're going to be talking about the event that's going to be happening at Temple Shalom on March 6th, Sunday, March 6th. It's a fundraising event for the temple. It's called Voices Lifted for Temple Shalom. So I have with us today some special people. We have Rabbi Benjamin. Hello. Welcome to the show. We have Ruth Gershwin. Hi, Ruth. And we have ALISON MOLL. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you.
So we're talking about Temple Shalom. We're talking about Voices Lifted for Temple Shalom. So I believe this is all about, you know, your goal was to keep the temple in Milton. Is that correct?
Very much so.
And so this is an opportunity. I know at town meeting, a lot of people spoke about what could they do to help the temple.
Correct.
And so you're putting on a musical event, extravaganza, right? Mm-hmm. And you're going to try to raise some money to help the goal of keeping the temple here.
Yes.
And now you're also president of the Milton Interfaith Clergy Association, is that correct?
Yes, I'm still very much the president.
Well, you can't leave because that wouldn't help that.
No, it's I'm in the second term already.
Now, have you shared this with the other ministers to tell their members about this event and everything?
Absolutely.
Good.
Yes.
And they're all excited about this?
Well, we have a meeting coming up, so I'll make sure they're excited about it.
Okay. All right. So, well, tell us a little bit about what's going on. And it looks like you're going to have a silent auction at 6 p.m., then a big concert at the temple, correct?
Correct.
Now, how many people can the temple hold?
Wow. When we open up the back doors of the sanctuary, we can hold 800 people. 800 people. But there's a wall that can be pulled back or kept in place, and that can hold about 260. That's in our main sanctuary. That's just
so
with,
let's
with
hope
the fixed
the wall
seats.
is pulled back, right?
With the fixed seats. Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, excellent. All right, so well, tell us a little bit about why you're having the event, and then we'll talk about who's performing and things like that. How's that sound?
Sounds great. To have a fundraising event like this, it's not just about what's going on inside the synagogue, but there's so many people in Milton who've talked about how important they feel it is to support having this one and only synagogue in town. And we saw that support over the past several months, certainly at a town meeting with over 60% of the people voting in favor of the proposal that we had. It wasn't enough for that proposal, but that was still a really very encouraging sign for us. And they lifted their voices. And one of the ideas we had all along is, you know, what kind of fundraiser is going to be the right one for us? And there are all sorts of ideas came out, but this idea of voices being lifted, people who want to be heard, they say, count on me. And as you know, the musical tradition here in Milton is very important. We have a great choir in the high school. People love music. And so we decided that having all these different voices come together for this kind of a program and getting great musical groups to come in, that people would show up, people would want to be there, and people wanted to be part of it. So we're excited, very excited about Milton not only just lifting their voices, but coming and lifting themselves up and showing up at the temple for what's really going to be one of our last big events, community events at the synagogue. You know, we've been having the Martin Luther King celebration at the synagogue. Next year, it won't be with us at that building.
Right. Well, hopefully it'll be in a nice new building and it'll be going smoothly for you.
Well, if this does well, as we hope, that'll be a big step in that, you know, in helping us find a new place here in Milton. Not too many places to look at, but we're doing our very best.
Good. Okay. Well, I'm going to switch over to ALISON for a minute.
Yes.
ALISON, maybe you could tell the folks at home a little bit about some of the musical performances that are going to be taking place that evening.
We're really excited about the lineup of performers. It's come together in a way that is beyond our wildest expectations. We have a great diversity of musical traditions, we have a great variety of performers, and we're really proud that we're going to be featuring some of the students from Milton High School. So the main performance itself features 4 different groups. We have 3 groups in the first half and then 1 group in the second half. And the first half features a cabaret group of Milton High School students who just came off a fantastic cabaret performance about a week ago and will be reprising some of those tunes and performances for us during the Voices Lifted concert. We also are very honored to have a terrific vocal soloist by the name of Rebecca Hains. She performs as a soloist all around the greater Boston area in opera and in musical theater, and Gilbert and Sullivan, and she's going to be singing some American songbook tunes. She's going to be doing some Gilbert and Sullivan arias. It's going to be a lot of light, fun music, a lot of recognizable tunes that everybody should enjoy.
Now, Allison, before you go any further, I hear that you have a bit of a singing tradition yourself. Is that true?
I am a vocalist myself.
What kind of vocalist are you, Allison?
I'm a classical choral vocalist, so I have sung with a number of organizations around town.
And what do you sing? Was it soprano?
I'm a soprano.
And are you going to perform this evening, too?
I am not performing.
I mean,
no.
why are you bringing in Rebecca Hains where we could have you?
Because Rebecca can outshine them all.
What is it? She can outshine them all?
Yes.
Or them all?
Oh, maybe it's me that too. That's very good.
Well, thank you, Allison. Well, okay, so you have Rebecca Hains, and then who else do you have performing?
We have a group from the South Shore Conservatory joining us. That's an independent school in Hingham.
Okay.
And a group by the name of Woman Song, which is directed by Jenny Mulqueen, will also be performing.
Jenny.
Oh, you do?
Oh, absolutely.
That's
I've heard her
terrific.
perform. Is she performing in that group?
Well, she's going to be conducting. She's their musical director.
Yes,
So this
okay.
is a group of women who will be performing a cappella, and the women come from all over the North Shore area. And that rounds out our first half.
You mean the South Shore?
Oh, I'm sorry, the South Shore, yes.
It's a long drive from the North Shore.
Yeah.
Now, so, and they're going to do a cappella.
Yes.
Oh, I love to hear a
tunes.
cappella.
Yeah, it's really, really nice to hear all the voices blend and the chord progressions. They'll be a terrific asset.
And then, okay, so we have the high school students, we have Women's Song, we have Rebecca Hains, and the Boston Community Choir. Did you talk about that yet?
I have not talked about them yet. They will be performing during the second half. They'll have the longest
So
set.
we shouldn't leave at the break?
No, stay during the break.
Okay.
They'll have the longest set. It's about a 45-minute set. And they sing a lot of gospel music. So it'll be upbeat and engaging and interactive. We expect a little audience participation and clapping, and people can dance, and it'll be a lot of
I
fun.
might forget them in a temple.
Just,
I might have right, but I'll know them in the temple.
yeah. And you know, all of those wonderful people with their voices that will be lifted during the performance, I also want to also make sure that people know that during the reception, the cocktail hour, we're going to have a performance by the 16th String, which is a quartet of string players from Milton High School.
Nice.
So they'll be performing while everyone is socializing and looking at the fantastic auction items we have.
There's a great strings community in Milton. Patricia Ostrom has done a fabulous job. My daughter's a strings player also.
Oh,
at the high
wonderful.
school. So she's not in that 16 string group, but just a fabulous.
Yeah.
The number of children that know strings, it's just, we have just great music programs in the town, so we're very fortunate, you know.
Yeah, Patricia has been instrumental in getting getting this particular group to perform for us.
Well,
So we're
that's
very
great.
grateful.
That's great. I'll probably know some of the kids that are in that group. So some of the students. So that sounds like a fabulous event. And what a great lineup! What a great lineup. So that's exciting. Well, now let's go over to one of our other guests here. We have Ruth Gershman. Is that correct, Ruth?
GERSHMAN.
Gershman?
Right.
Okay, Ruth Gershman. Tell us, Ruth, how long have you been a member of the Temple?
I've been a member of Temple Shalom for almost 50 years.
50 years. So you've seen quite a few rabbis come through that place, eh?
Yes, yes, we have.
What do you think of the latest one?
Well, we find that Rabbi Benjamin is vibrant. He's always with us. He's thinking up ideas. And sometimes we have to sort of slow him down because he's got us working all the time. But he's come up with some wonderful programs, and it's been wonderful. And services on the Sabbath have been just great. He doesn't just preach. He has us engaged, and we're thinking and always having a discussion of one thought or another.
Practicing your faith instead of just
Right.
talking about it.
Right. We're not just listening, we're participating.
Very nice.
And that makes it very good. And he sings great.
Oh,
So-
you think maybe we can get like a performance that night by him?
Well, I don't know. I think that he's going to just sit back and enjoy
Well, if
listening.
if all 800 seats are taken, his voice will be lifted, won't it?
Right,
Yeah.
it certainly will.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a real exciting event. So it's called Voices Lifted for Temple Shalom, and it's Sunday, March 6th. That's 2011. So it's a Sunday night. So most of you probably don't have plans, and so make plans to attend. Now, how can people at home who are watching the show right now? How can they get involved if they want to get involved and help out? Besides coming to the event, and tickets are $30, and you can purchase them online at www.templeshalomonline.org, and so we'll make sure we put that address. You've probably seen that at home now, folks. And they can also call over to the temple if they have any questions about this.
Absolutely.
And the number will come up on the screen, 617-698-3394. And how else can people help? Maybe Rabbi can help us out here.
Well, I think just by coming and showing that our presence in Milton is something that people see as an enrichment to the full diversity of the town. That's actually one of the things I really like about Milton. I moved here about 4 years ago, and I just like how much it's not just a matter of diversity, but the different flavors. And when you think about voices, I mean, if one person sings, it could be just a beautiful sound, but there's no harmony, there's no counterpoint, there's no richness. And when I think about Milton in general, I just think about how it's a choir of sounds, and you just want them to support each other. And so by showing up, that would really just mean a lot to us, especially, as I said, this is going to be the last big community event for us. But how else people can support us? I think we've just seen that support all along. And when we come and find a new building, I'm sure that we're going to have a big celebration for that. There's a tradition that when you move from one synagogue building to another one, that there's a Torah procession. That you actually, Torah scroll,
yeah,
the Torah scrolls are actually carried from one building to another.
Okay.
And Torahs can be pretty heavy, so often you'll have people carried for a little while and then another person comes. And it's
kind of like passing the torch in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Actually, very much so. That's a good analogy.
You have to have bare feet?
No, no bare feet. But I've been part of that once before when I was in a congregation early in my rabbinical career. And when the town comes and either joins the procession or lines the street, so to speak.
Oh, it's like a parade.
It is very much like a parade, and welcomes the community into its new home. I'll tell you, this is going to be fun, but that moment will be really meaningful, and it'll say that we found our next home for at least the next 65 years here in Milton.
And make sure you put a little space in the new home that has a little musical ability to have some performances, maybe not as large as the 800 if that's the case, but still something that you keep the voices lifted.
Right. We don't need a home as big as the one we're in right now, and that's why we're finding a new place. But I really have to say that look forward to that. This event doesn't exist all by itself. It's going to make that new home possible and that journey possible.
And now, I believe I saw something about some ways that people, if they want to have some advertisements, there's going to be some kind of a booklet. Is there a booklet that evening, like a that has ads from different merchants and things inside? Is that correct? Who wants to speak on that?
I can speak a little to that. We do have a program booklet, and we've gotten some wonderful support from community members and from organizations that are purchasing ads in the booklet to show their support and also to get their business known to whoever comes to this fantastic event. And another way that businesses in particular have been showing their support is donating some wonderful items for our silent auction, which Ruth has been in the forefront of that.
That's a lot of fun, isn't it, Ruth?
Right. It's been wonderful going around to the different businesses in East Milton and other parts of Milton and surrounding communities.
Have they been generous?
And they've been very welcoming, and most of them have been generous and want to help out in any way they can. And so they're giving us some wonderful things.
Little insider information on a couple of
yes.
might be available for folks at home who want to get like a head start.
We have a week at the Trap, in
the
Vermont,
Trap family
in
lodge
in Vermont, And we have a,
Speaking of singers,
Yeah.
that's right.
everything's linked. It's all synchronization, folks.
And then there's a sailboat day, fishing for bass. And then we have lots of different gift certificates from the businesses around, from markets and jewelry stores, flower places, and
Lots of restaurants, too.
Restaurants, and somebody has offered to teach children cooking. Somebody else is going to come to your home and show you how to bake certain delicate pastries. And
Nice.
there are many, many different
it'll be a
things
fun-
that are
it'll be a
in the
fun night.
auction. And then there are also on-hand things. There's an artist from here in Fuller who has donated a
We're over in Fuller Village, folks. That's why she mentioned in Fuller. Okay, so
That has
there's an artist
donated
here for Fuller.
painting that he did. And so we have a very varied selection in our silent auction, and that would be very helpful.
Is there
if
going to be
people
any
come.
live auction or just a silent auction?
Just silent.
Just silent.
Yes, and that will be during the refreshments and the string quartet.
Correct.
When people first come in, and it should be very interesting.
Pull their heartstrings.
Oh.
All right,
And their wallets.
Well, I think it's nice that there are items that are at different levels. I mean, a week at the Van Trapp Lodge, we've seen it. It's quite beautiful. But not everybody can
Sure.
bid on that.
Right.
But the point is, for people to do what they can, and
Can you raffle that item? Then I have a chance.
that's the committee's decision. But it's really quite beautiful.
Well, very nice. Well, this is going to be an exciting night. So Sunday, March 6th, we're talking about Voices Lifted for Temple Shalom. Enjoy the sound of Milton's music. It's going to have the Boston Community Choir, which is a dynamic gospel group. We have Rebecca Hains, American Songbook Classics. We have Women Song from South Shore Conservatory, an a cappella group led by Jenny. And they're going to be showcasing the Milton High School strings. What's it called? The 16 strings?
The 16th string.
16th string.
As well as the cabaret group from the
And
high
the
school.
cabaret group. Man. So, it's nice. It's bringing all groups together, and it should be a great, great evening. I hope, folks, you put on your calendar now and plan on attending. And if anything, you plan on attending just as a show of support to the temple. And it helps the fabric of the life here in community, in the community life of Milton. It's important that the temple stays here, and we're excited for you. And I hope everything works out.
Thank
know?
you.
Thank
Very
you.
much so. Thanks.
Anything else anyone else would like to say before we go? Be there.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing everyone there.
Okay.
Join us for a wonderful evening.
Yeah.
And if it sells out, I just know Rabbi Benjamin is going to give us a tune. Is that a possibility?
Well, I'd prefer people to sing along. So maybe I'll lead something where people can sing along.
Did you hear that, folks? I think we might have a commitment here. Okay, that's fair enough. Well, thank you for being on Talk of the Town, and we look
pleasure.
forward to seeing you on March 6th, correct? No, March 6th.
March-
March 6th.
Yep, thank you very
Allison.
much.
Thanks, Brian.